All right, let's talk about turning those custom GPTs you've built from just fine, I guess, into something actually brilliant. If you've ever spent time creating a custom AI and just felt a little underwhelmed by the result, yeah, you're in exactly the right place. We are going to walk through the 7 small but powerful steps most people skip when building a custom GPT. And I mean it. These are the little details that almost everyone misses, and they make all the difference in the world. You know that feeling, don't you? You get all excited, you set up your custom GPT, you ask it your first big question, and the answer comes back. And it's just meh. It's bland, there's no spark, no personality. It just kind of works. And if that sounds way too familiar, I really want you to know you are not alone. This is such a common feeling. It doesn't mean you're doing it wrong. It just means you're probably skipping the same few tiny, crucial steps that most of us do at first. But here's the best part. The fixes for this are so small, but their impact is absolutely massive. It's like that old saying, these are the little hinges that swing big doors. And you for sure don't need to be some kind of tech wizard to do any of this. So let's really dig into that meh GPT feeling. Where does it come from? Well, almost always, it stems from a really simple misunderstanding about how to set our GPT up for success from the get-go. And here it is, the number one mistake, the one that really throws everything else off track. We ask our GPT to do everything. We basically tell it, hey, just help me with whatever, and then we act surprised when its answers are kind of generic and all over the map. Which brings us to our first and maybe most powerful step. You have to give your GPT a single, focused job. Think of this as the absolute foundation for building something great. Just look at the difference here. On the left, we have total chaos. Help me with everything. The poor GPT has no idea what to do. But on the right, crystal clarity. Your role is Pinterest strategist. Boom. Instantly, it knows its purpose, its context, and how to be genuinely helpful. So your GPT could be a dedicated content creator or a super focused research assistant. Maybe it's an email writer or even a brand voice helper. The rule to remember is this: one GPT, one job. That focus is literally the secret sauce. Okay, so your GPT has a job. Awesome. Now it's time for the next phase, which covers steps 3 and 4. We need to give it a soul. This is where we go beyond just what it does and we start shaping how it does it, giving it a real personality. This is the part almost everyone skips, and it's pure magic. You have to tell your GPT how to act. These are tiny little instructions, but they completely change the entire experience. Simple things like use a friendly, casual tone, or ask only one question at a time, or my favorite, always explain step by step. It takes, 30 seconds to add this? You know, a GPT without a personality is like a smoothie without any fruit. It's just bland liquid. It technically works, but it's zero fun. Giving it a voice makes it a tool you actually want to interact with. You can even paste in some of your own writing and ask it to match your style. And now for the other half of giving it a soul. You have to feed it the right stuff. Most people either upload nothing at all or they just drop in one random PDF. No. You want to give it your product descriptions, your brand guidelines, your FAQs, maybe even some examples of your best performing content. It doesn't need a mountain of info, just the right info. Okay, the foundation is built. Your GPT has a job and a soul. The next few steps are all about taking what you've made and making it even better, and then scaling that success. So let's start with what I call the TRR method. Honestly, this little process is the real secret that separates the OK GPTs from the ones that make you go, wow. It's a simple little loop that makes a world of difference. It stands for test, revise, and repeat. Here's the thing. Almost nobody revises their GPT after they build it the first time. We expect it to be perfect right out of the box. But the biggest improvements, the real breakthroughs, happen when you test it with a task, see the result, and then go back and tweak the instructions just a little bit. Then you try again. Now, this brings us to a huge strategic point. You have to stop trying to make one GPT do everything. Seriously, the fastest way to get chaotic, messy results is to build a jack-of-all-trades bot. You wouldn't ask one person on your team to do all the marketing, sales, accounting, and product development, would you? So why ask your GPT to? Instead, and this is the real magic, you build your own little bot team. You have one GPT that is an expert at writing marketing emails. You have another one that's a genius at brainstorming content ideas, and a third that's amazing at summarizing research. When each bot has one job, everything gets cleaner, faster, and so much better. Which brings us to our final step, step 7. This isn't so much an action as it is the result. When you put all these small pieces together, something really incredible happens. You stop thinking of it as just a tool and you start seeing it as a genuine digital teammate. This is the big payoff. When your GPT has a clear role, a distinct voice, and the right information, and when you've taken the time to refine it and build out your team, it transforms. It goes from being helpful-ish to, wow, this is literally like having a new teammate. So after hearing all that, I've got one question for you. Which of these small, powerful steps are you going to try first to take your GPT from meh to absolutely brilliant?